boy. I was listening to a little Mariah Carey up in this joint. I think 22 may be the year of love. I think 22 may be the year of love. The reason I say that is because the first two songs I listened to was all about love song. One was that was Mariah Carey, and this other love song was I Wanna Feel What Love Is, I Want You to Hold Me, something like that, right? Of course you know your boy. Anyway, I ain't gonna say. Yeah, cause this part about that being impeccable with your word, that positive self-talk, right? Positive self-talk, that's what it's about. The date is One Thing Tuesdays. So that's why we recapped the One Thing podcast from yesterday. Yo, that podcast yesterday was bussin'. Yeah, it was bussin'. Yeah, it was. And somebody throw their Christmas tree out on the yard like that. But anyway, that thing was bussin' yesterday. He was talking about, of course, building the habit. Using the focusing question to get down to the activity of building the habit. You know what I'm saying? Getting down to that activity of building the habit. And he started with, of course, he used the most famous one, for most people, losing weight. I'm gonna start out to lose 20 pounds. Even when I ran that by my wife, you know what I'm saying? She said, yeah, you can't put in there losing pounds. That can't be your goal, because if you just lose the weight, it's going to come back unless you change the way you eat. So that's what she's working on, right? She's working on trying to change the way she eat. The reason people really pick that diet portion on that, one thing that you can do, is because it is pretty easy, or appears to be easy. So hopefully she'll be into this this part right here, as far as maybe to help her with the diet, because she said you have to change the way you eat, right? But hopefully I gotta press on them. See, I'm gonna press on them to listen to this thing before the end of the year. Because even though she knows it's changing the way you eat, there's a domino before that. That's what she don't know. That it's a smaller domino. That's still the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That's still Mount Everest. Change the way you eat. Yeah, let's change the way you eat. What's that mean? No, it's one before that. What can you do? How can you change the way you eat? When he comes up, nobody says, did he say something like that? Say if it's not an action, how can you change the way you eat? Then you keep going until you come up with an action by using how? Is that right? Yeah, because he kept going down. Okay, how can I change the way I eat? It's going to come with planning. You're going to change the way you eat by, what could you do? Planning. I can plan my meals out for the week. That's a good way to change the way I eat. Okay, how can I do that? By setting aside some time on what day? Maybe Sunday. Okay, we still going. How can I set aside this time? Just write in the calendar. Okay, so now it's Sunday. How can I come up with this plan? What I need to do on this plan? What's the one thing I can do to make planning my meals for the week easier? What's the toughest part? The toughest part of planning the meals. So you gotta get it down in the meal prepping. See, I know this, right? The guy say losing weight is like 15 habits. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so tough, because there's so many nuances in there. You gotta get it down to the one thing. Keep whittling it down. That's why I'm a presser. You gotta press them, man. 22 is about pressure. It's about work. gotta pressure on myself, pressure on work, pressure on others. You got to. They want it. They say they don't, but they really do. Everybody want a little pressure. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he keep wheeling that thing down. He picked, instead of changing the way he eats, he picked exercise. If I just exercise, this weight would come off. If I could exercise every day for 5 days a week, how could I do that? I'll tell you how I did it one time as far as just exercising. I put together a bunch of movies, and I got some shows stacked up. Last year, I'm gonna do it this year too. I did like 2 years in a row. I stacked up about 60 days worth of TV programs that I wanted to watch. And then I got on the elliptical and watched them on the elliptical. That's what I did. But here recently, you know, just getting this sleep thing right, man. I got that new sleep machine, and it hadn't been popping off like I wanted to. Hadn't been getting the energy like I wanted to get. So I got to call those folks today. That's one of my one things for the day. Because if I ain't getting enough sleep, and everything else gonna suffer. So that's my one thing for the day. If I don't do nothing else today, I need to call them on that. That's all it is. It's all about sitting down and then just coming up with a little focus, a little plan, and then a little focus. You know, so how can, see, because sometimes people get down to meal prepping and stop. She's done it before, you know, picked the little diet routine out of the book, but it was stuff she didn't want to eat, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't fun to eat that kind of stuff. So changing the way you eat may be tough, but if you can exercise every day, then you can pretty much eat, you know, eat what you want, but your eating gonna change anyway. You're exercising every day. I think exercise is the key. I think that's the key. That's the keystone habit is exercising. And we know it. They don't understand that. You crushing your suspension back there, brother. Your suspension being crushed. You being crushed. Now you just learned something today. You just learned. You just say, man, I just see what that guy just did. Oh man, I gotta do that the next time. That's right. His suspension got crushed back there. Not to get distracted. But exercising is the key. I don't care how you slice it. If you can only do one habit, I think exercising is the key. That's the key right there. It's a keystone habit. Meaning it affects so many other habits. Because if I'm exercising, then I'm going to eat right. I'm going to start to eat right. But if I'm exercising, not eating right, then I'm going to burn a lot of them calories off. But, you see what I'm saying? But eating right don't necessarily produce exercise. But exercise produces eating right. So that means that eating right, exercise gotta be the keystone habit. Gotta be the power habit. It's gotta be. You see what I'm saying? And we want, if I can only I want to work on the power habit that's gonna have the biggest impact. It's gonna be exercise. It's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. I just gotta convince my wife to come to that conclusion. Convince myself. Yes, convince myself to come to that conclusion. Like I said, this last part of the year, I just been feeling like in a little funk, you know, lethargic. I mean, I'm looking at the weights. I hadn't even touched my elliptical down there. Just been so big, but the holidays is over. This part of the year is always the busiest because now I got to get my taxes done. See. So this first part of the year, the end of the year, first part, all that's very stressful. It's very stressful. It shouldn't be, but it is. So we're gonna tune that thing down. So I'm finna listen to some more of the one thing. Start putting some of this stuff into practice for real this time. But for real this time, okay? For real this time. I'm gonna do it. Let's see what this guy gonna do. Anyway, let me go ahead and thump this in, mellow out for the rest of the day, and go from there. Okay, man, come on. Sitting at my way, just sitting there chilling, because you don't want to run over some bumps. Pray you make it to your destination safely in the name of Jesus. Peace out. Do it to life. I'm gonna do it in my life.